Hello there. Welcome to EBML5. In this video, we want to look at the decision-making process. So we're going to start by understanding or defining what actually do we mean by the decision-making process. So you will see that the decision-making process comes as a cognitive process resulting in the selection of a course of action among several possible alternative options. So for us to have the decision-making process to undertake a decision-making process, we should have alternative options that we need to choose from so that we can engage the decision-making process. So we can also try to define it from the point of view that it is a reasoning process based on assumptions of values, preferences, and beliefs of decision maker. So the decision maker is the key player in the decision-making process as the one who is going to choose the final alternative that is required. So at the end of the day, you would see that every decision-making process produces a final choice. So there has to be a final choice so that we can say there is a decision-making process that has taken place. So this is what we have in terms of decision-making process. And remember, a decision-making process has got several different steps that has to be followed so that we can be able to make the final decision. So at the end of the day, again, you will see that decision-making process also comes as a component of the planning process. We also have the planning process. So if you go to the sixth process of the planning process, whereby we are having say selecting the alternative. So in the planning process, we have a step that needs us to select the alternative among the options that are there. So that's where we're going to engage decision making there. So it means the decision making process also comes as a component of the planning process. So we are going to look at a question from the question paper of June 2024, which is asking about the decision-making process. So we can just go there and try to see what the question is asking us to do. Like this is our question from June 2024, and it reads it was question 1.4. It reads chronologically list and explain the 7 steps in the decision-making process. And every step has got 2 marks there to make a total of 14 marks. So on the first step, you have to diagnose and define the apparent problem. So there has to be a problem so that we can start or kickstart the decision-making process. So that's where you're going to determine the cause on the first step. Then you go to the second step. You should gather and analyze information about the problem. So the problem that we have identified, we have to gather information surrounding that problem. And then how can you gather that information? You can gather that information through asking questions. That is on the last part there. You should ask questions. Then you go to the third step, put the real problem in writing, put it down in writing to understand its perspective. So putting it down in writing, we are trying to make sure that you comprehend the problem and you can be able to understand every corner of that problem. So this is what we have on the third one. Then you go to the next one, which is this point, which is now point number 4 or step number 4. Establish the decision-making criteria, determine criteria to evaluate possible solutions. So there should be a criteria so that you can be able to evaluate the possible solutions that are there. Then I will go to the next one, which is now number 5, which is saying develop alternative solutions. That is now use creative methods to generate solutions. So the issue of creativity should also be engaged through the process. Then we got number 6, determine possible solutions. Look at effectiveness and results. So all the possible solutions that we have on the end, you should be able to look at the effectiveness of each and every solution and the results that you are going to reap after that. Then the last one, which is the 7th one, anticipate new problems that might surface given your decision. So given that you have made a decision, your final decision, you should be able to look ahead in a way that you should be able to anticipate problems that might crop up after the decision that you are taking, you undertake it. So this is what we have in terms of anticipating new problems that might surface given your decision. Then that's when now you have to decide and take an action. So these are the 7 steps that we have in the decision-making process. And remember, the question has got 14 marks. Each point are having 2 marks. So this is what we've, guys, according to the question of the question paper of June 2024. Let's stay tuned for more questions as we prepare for exams. Let's subscribe and share. As for this video, I'm signing out. We meet again in the next video.